In preparation for this move that we're having soon, I've got several frozen birds. I've got 3 turkeys left that I'm gonna actually make into turkey jerky. And that's one of my projects today, so come along and enjoy the video. Okay, so I have 3 turkeys. One that we grew ourselves is 22 pounds. And then I've got a couple that we got at the store right around Thanksgiving time. When you go and you spend $100 at the store, you typically get a free one or a really discounted one. And I can't pass up a free turkey, so I got it too. So I have 2 of those, and this one is 14 pounds, 14 and a half. And this one is, the tag is missing, so it's a little bit smaller than that. I got these out about 4 days ago and let them thaw inside my refrigerator, and they're almost thawed. I'm actually gonna skin them, take the meat off the bones, and then cut up the meat really thin. And what I've done is I've made like a brine here, and it's a lot of ingredients. I just actually got it off the internet. It's a real smoky smell. It's really good. It's got soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce, liquid smoke, a little bit of honey, apple cider vinegar, garlic, ginger. It smells delicious. I'm gonna let that sit off to the side, and as I cut the pieces away, I'm gonna just dump them in so that they can marinate. I'm gonna then take the pieces and I'm gonna cook them in the oven on a cookie sheet, the thin meat slices, and I'm gonna put them in the oven at about 180 degrees for not very long, just so that it cooks all the way through, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the dehydrator. She's still really cold on the inside. I'm gonna have to run some warm water in her, I think. I'm just running lukewarm water over her and inside of her, because she, even after 4 days, she's not all the way thawed yet. Just so that I can get to her without, you know, it being, first of all, freezing my hands, and then second of all, should be easy to kind of move around. I do like it a little bit frozen, just a little bit, because then the meat isn't like, it's easier to cut, I guess is the best way to say that. But I'm gonna start by taking the legs off. When you're doing something like this, you want to make sure and not cut into the bone or nick the bone too much, only because the bone will dull your knife, and then you will, it can be very dangerous to have a dull knife, to work with a dull knife actually. So what I'm doing now is, now that I've cut through most of this part, I'm pushing down, hold on, let me get a better view for you. I'm pushing down on the leg here and pulling this socket out right here so that it will pop out, and all I have to cut is the tendons around, which won't dull my knife. Now the bones are separated from each other, and all that's left are soft, the fleshy parts, the meat, the tendons and things like that. And I don't have to worry too much about nicking a bone with my knife. Except I do have to worry about dropping this bird on me, and I don't want to do that. There you go, one whole leg. There's some meat in here still, which I will go in after and grab all these pieces in here that I didn't get. Lots right in here, kind of near the tail. Lots of little bits, but this, as you can tell, there's nothing really much here except for some. It's very, very thin and would be very chewy. I could take some of this and grind it up as well and do ground turkey jerky. There is recipes for that, but I think right now we're just gonna do the straight turkey jerky, just like you might get in a store in a package. We're gonna dehydrate it, and then I'm gonna put it in bags where the kids can just grab it like a snack and eat off of it anytime. There we go. Now that I have the leg kind of all, the leg is hard because it's got all of these different pieces of muscle, obviously to help it walk, but all these long skinny pieces of muscle. So I'm actually gonna work on the skin first. This is about the size of meat. I'm gonna make them bigger, but this is the thinness that I want. Very thin pieces. Okay, so I've done the leg. I've only done one, but I just wanted to show you. You can kind of get a good feel for how much meat I got out of that one leg because this particular turkey was really, really big. So now I'm gonna move on to the breast. And as you can see, maybe, this is considerable size turkey. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut down the middle and then peel away this way through the meat and then cut it off down here underneath, all the way underneath that wing, all the way up towards the neck and around here. And I'm just gonna try to make as clean a cut as I possibly can and pull this whole thing off. I will then skin it and go through and slice up the meat. It'll be a whole lot easier than the legs are. The legs are hard to do because of just the way it's constructed with all the tendons and the bonier pieces. I'm just making a slit with the knife down the breastbone here. So I'll start from the very bottom down here and go all the way up to the top where the neck is. I'll cut through the skin, and then from there I kind of feel my way around the bone here, the sternum. Let's see if I can get a good angle from there. Kinda. Sorry, it's a little crooked. But my hands are slimy and I don't want to touch my camera too much, so that's what you get. Crooked shot. So, and then as I cut, just want to be careful, not to like damage the meat too much, but stay off that bone. Okay, she is halfway done. There's still some meat here, but it's so frozen that I am really not able to get to it. But here is the turkey breast taken off. And you can see it's got a lobe in here that I will, to make it easier, I'm gonna separate this. But first, I'm gonna run my hands under some warm water because my hands are freezing. Well, my left hand is cold. So this lobe separates really very easily by itself. So I'm just gonna cut away kind of where it naturally separates and kind of cut into it a little bit. The nice thing about this is it's so big that I really can utilize all of it, and it's so nice. But anyway, this is an excellent piece for jerky. So I'm just gonna make these more into manageable pieces. They'll shrink up when cooking, and I'll put them in the brine, which I moved over. Bring it back. I have cut that in half some more so that these are a little bit more manageable. And I'm just gonna cut thin slices into it, and because it's still frozen, it's super easy to do. I don't want to cut them too thin because they'll shrink up while cooking in the oven, but I do want to make them thin enough that they will cook. I need it to cook in the oven. And then there is this white piece right here that I'm going to cut along to get rid of, because that makes it super chewy. And it doesn't run down the whole thing. It kind of disperses, so I can get the majority of it out and then keep cutting. Oops, that was too thick. There's the other end of that. It's hard to tell, I think, in the camera, but I don't necessarily want that piece in. Gonna mix this all around and make sure that everything gets really nice and saturated in here. A lot of jerky recipes have a lot of sugar in it, and I'm not a big fan of that. I really don't want a lot of sugar in my turkey jerky or any of my jerky, but I know that there has to be that sweetness in there, so honey helps. Okay. The next step is I'm going to take the turkey pieces out and I'm going to let them drain. I'm kind of going to shake them up in here. Sorry, you can't see that very well. And because I want to reuse the brine, I've got a whole half of the bird left, and I want this whole bird to be able to be used by all of this brine. So I'm going to let it drain in here, and then I'm going to lay them flat and on these cookie sheets. It's got parchment paper on it so that I can just pick it up off of it. Then they will go in my dehydrator. So they're gonna cook in the oven, then dehydrate. I'm taking it from my drip pan here, oops, my drip pan, and I'm placing it on the parchment paper and then on the cookie sheet, and then I'll stick it in the oven. And the nice thing about this is it'll help catch all the drippings, and then I can just peel that off and wash it pretty easily without it, you know, sticking to the bottom of my pan or anything. Inside the oven, they've been cooking for about 20 minutes, and I'm gonna pull them out. And I just have one of these Great Harvest dehydrators. I'm just gonna arrange them on the tray, the ones that are cooked. I'll probably have at least 12 stacked, and they'll dehydrate overnight.
Ta-da! Okay.
Okay.
And here we have another putting jerky on a slab.
That's great. So I think you should narrate all of them
Yes.
from now on.
Voice acting, you know?
Or something.
My dream.
This is fun. Okay, so they are almost done. I just took a little piece and they're just so good. Oh my goodness gracious. They're nice, they're chewy, they're perfect. I cut them in perfect sizes. I'll show you here in a minute, but oh my gosh, they're really, really delicious. Hope you enjoyed it. And know that we are excited about moving, and we're getting everything prepared, and this is just one of the processes of us getting prepared to leave. So blessings, and have a great rest of your day.